everyone, and welcome to the Make Love Last interview series. I'm your host, Robin D'Angelo, and throughout this series, I'm talking with love, relationships, sex, and overall life success experts from all over the globe. And they're giving you their juiciest tips, practical tools, and really simple to implement strategies on how to connect deeper with your partner, have amazing, delicious sex, and just create your most epic relationship no matter how busy you are. So today's guest is Mike Goldstein. I'm so excited to have him here with us today. He is a one-on-one dating coach, the founder of Easy Dating Coach, and he helps men and women to find love efficiently. I gotta love that. So he's been featured on the Today Show, the Star Ledger, Reader's Digest, and even Shape magazine. Here's what I love. I love that he gives us numbers and statistics because I am a brain geek and a love geek. Because 83% of Mike's clients enter relationships during coaching, and he currently has 100% client satisfaction. Top that. He's also an online dating expert who uses data from multiple major online dating sites to ensure that his clients, get this, are in the top 5% of successful online daters. You might be wondering, Robin, why the heck do we have a dating coach on here? We're talking to couples. Let me tell you why. You are in for a treat. Mike is going to be talking to us all about what men find irresistible and how women can actually do these things within their loving, committed relationships. So, Mike, welcome.
Hi, Robin. Thank you so much for having me. This is fantastic.
We are so excited to have you. And like I said, I feel like we get the inside scoop. I'm really, really excited to have you here today. But why don't you just start out by sharing a little bit about, how can dating advice actually be used in committed relationships, people that are already married or just committed to one another?
Oh, that is a great question. Well, marriage and relationships, if it's done right, you never really lose that dating, that fun. And I believe Robin's married, and I'm sure she still has a fantastic fun. And I'm in a relationship, so I still get to kind of court my my girlfriend. And it's just fantastic. We find ways to date, and what that looks to us is very simple. We have a designated date like once every week or once every 2 weeks. It's scheduled, it's on the calendar, no clients, no nothing, like we're doing something. And then for us, that means I'm planning it. And so I get to come up with exciting ideas on how to keep it new and fresh. And that's kind of our fun thing.
Yeah. And I love that you're talking about, keeping dating alive within marriages and committed relationships, because so often with the couples that I work with, that's like the first thing to go is everything comes before the relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's pets, whether it's kids, whatever. It's like all these commitments come up before the relationship, and they're wondering, like, why are they not interested in me anymore? It's like, well, they're not priority anymore. So Mike, talk to us about, I'm going to pick your brain here. What exactly is it that men find irresistible?
This is my favorite question. There really is a way to be irresistible. I love when people are looking around and just enjoying life, and they look and they see like a guy with the most, a woman that might not be the most attractive, land that like gorgeous guy that you all know him. You like see him at the neighborhood baseball game or softball game, and he's just absolutely stunning. He's got a fantastic job, a great personality, just runs a room. And you're like, what is he doing with this woman that maybe isn't that attractive? But then once you get to know her, you're like, oh my God, she's irresistible. And so what is that? And so we spent a lot of time studying it, and we came up with very simple. This woman is really good at 3 things, and we're going to talk about them. I
have my pen out right now.
Yes. All right. So very simple. Needed, so making the man feel needed, making him feel appreciated, and making him feel accepted. So let's talk about what that means, because it seems very easy, but it's really not. So we talk about that effervescent woman that just is irresistible. Well, what she's really good at is making a man feel needed. And this is so important, because as we all know, women are just rock stars these days with amazing jobs and just everything going for them. and they don't need men like we used to. Like, we don't need them to go hunt for us. We don't need them to go do really anything. Even, supposedly men are stronger than women. You can always just pay someone to like help you move something. So women don't need men if they've got their act together. But if they can make a man feel needed, he is going to be drawn to women. And so what that looks like is so simple. Hey, can you help me put my jacket on? Hey, oh, would you help me with this coat? Or then he picks up the bill. Or, you're married. Let's say he takes the garbage out and he does anything like this. And would you mind, reaching that thing in the top drawer? You could do it yourself. Like, you could get a stepladder or whatever. But if he does this and then you go, oh my God, John, you are the most magnificent man. Thank you so much for getting up there and getting that jar for me. Like, what would I do without you? And what makes this woman irresistible is the fact that she does say over the top things. Like, okay, it wasn't that big of a deal to get a jar. But if he's like, or if she says, John, you're so amazing. Thank you so much. You're the best. Well, guess what? John's going to be like, man, if I'm not already married to this woman, I better marry her immediately because I could keep this woman happy for the rest of her life. And that's men's biggest fear, is they are terrified that they can't keep a woman happy for the rest of their life. And that's why they don't commit. But once they do commit, if you keep saying, like, making him feel needed, he's going to be drawn to you. All of his attention is going to want to go to you because no woman in his life has ever made him feel this needed. And that's how you're irresistible.
Wow.
This urge. Does that make sense?
It does. And what I love to hear you say, because this is something I share with a lot of my women too. I did like a how to be an epic wife webinar one time. And one of the things was praise, 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 and like praise the hell out of your man, even when it feels over the top. So I'm so glad to hear you really validating this, that it may sound kind of crazy and you're getting like, okay, pump the brakes. You're getting a little crazy with your praising, but I love to hear that you are saying, yes, like we love that. And I think more than anything, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, like a man's brain really, really loves to hear that. Beyond just like the good feelings, it's like your brain's like, oh, me did good, right? Like the primal part of a man.
Absolutely. Like, whenever I do anything for my girlfriend and I get appreciation, like she may not see it immediately. Like I may not have this big smile, but something internally is just like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel amazing. And the reason I'm so drawn to her is I do simple things and she makes it seem like I just, ran up a 10,000 foot mountain for her. And I'm like, wow, I can be successful with her. And that's what makes me so drawn to her.
Nice. I love that. So really feeling needed. And I do want to make a point too, which is so interesting because as women, we actually feel needed by a lot of people and things all the time. So what we really love for any of the men that are listening is we really love to feel wanted, right? So we love to feel desired and wanted, whereas as a man, feeling needed is what fills them up. So I'm so glad you're touching on this. So what about the next piece? Let's keep going.
All right, so we got needed, and then we've done the appreciation. So you made him feel needed, you appreciated him, and then accepting him. And this is so valuable, especially, once you're living together and married for a while, you start to see a lot of weird things that you didn't know you did. And we all know, it gets weird. You're like, okay, living together. And just accepting him, like he doesn't want to change. He is who he is at this point. And it's so valuable because all the women before you have tried to change him or have not been accepting him, whatever he's doing. And if you're just like, this is totally cool, that's who you are, I take the good with the bad, you're fantastic, and I want you, he's going to feel amazing. He'll feel comfortable. He'll be willing to do things around you, and you'll be able to get to that next level in that relationship. So it's really important that you accept him for who he is.
Mike, are there certain things that a woman can either say or do that even maybe it's for you personally, maybe you have a personal experience to share where you're like, that right there, that's what makes me feel accepted? Because I know for us women, we're like, what exactly is that? How do I make sure my man knows that I accept him other than, hey, I accept you for who you are,
Well, all right, I'll tell you a story. And of course, it's going to make me look bad. Gotta do it.
I mean, it's going to make you look human, and that's what we love. So yes.
Yes, human. Yes, I like that. Good call. So I unfortunately, I fart quite a bit, and no one likes farting. It's disgusting. It smells bad. It's no good. Anyway, my girlfriend, instead of being like, oh, that is terrible, go somewhere, just not here. No, she just kind of laughs at me. And she makes it a joke. And I feel perfectly comfortable, all right, we all fart occasionally. And I feel accepted, all right, I can be myself. And myself happens to be someone who farts occasionally. And she just kind of laughs. She's like, oh, again, what do you eat? And just jokes around about it. And so we have fun with it.
Awesome. So what I'm hearing, for all of our listeners is as much as we want to, we probably have that internal response to something that either is gross to us or, disgusts us even, is really finding a place to grant your partner some grace, right? Don't shame them, right? I'm sure it's not something that you're super proud of and you're like, yeah, we have contests, right? but really doing your best not to shame your partner, because I know that can really turn into resentment and then just feeling, that just can just spiral. So I love that example and I love the humanness in it.
Anything to help the clients.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So we have talked about what is totally irresistible to a man. And I love hearing that it's just really, truly, what I hear that as is kind of letting the man be his masculine self, right? So I know a lot of us women, especially for the busy women that are watching, we're probably moms, business owners, something where we're always in our masculine energy of go, 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 do, problem solve strategy. And what I love to hear you say is you could probably go do this, but give him the opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give him the opportunity to be your man and to find you irresistible.
And that, it's really important because so women are going to work and they're putting on their masculine side and being rock stars and just crushing it in the workforce. And then, imagine how nice it would be to come home and have the man actually step up to the plate and do the man activities. Finally, kick your shoes off and enjoy it and let him go get the water for you and let him, take the garbage out and finally let him do some of the heavy lifting. And it's going to be relaxing. You're going to be this is nice. Finally, someone's doing something for me. So, yeah, it'll be good for both sides. And then once you compliment him, he's going to be like, yeah, that's right. I took the garbage out. And you'll be like, wow, this is nice. Less stress. He took things off my plate. This is nice.
Oh, such great reminders. Really great reminders. So here's what I'm curious about when we're really busy, right? I'm doing my thing. My husband's doing his thing. What do I want to avoid when I'm trying to connect with him? Because he's busy. So I know, I don't want to mess it up. So what are some things that, us women can definitely avoid when we're trying to connect with our man?
Yeah, so I want to make this pretty simple. It's actually somewhat similar in dating and in a relationship. And sometimes the most effective thing you can do as a woman is just nothing.
That, I don't know, Mike. That's you're asking a lot of us women to do nothing.
I know that can sound kind of tough to do and crazy, but sometimes nothing is good because then the man can come chase you. And even when you are married, it's not a bad thing to have a man chasing you and keep things fresh. But so I think what the not to do's is there's a lot of women out there, unfortunately, that are instead of being making him feel loved and needed, they're being annoying. And so I want to kind of talk about how maybe women are being annoying.
Yeah.
And so if you just say what are you doing, or good morning every morning, via text. So what are you doing? A very busy, successful guy is going to be like, what is this? It's such a waste of time. Men use texting to accomplish things, and men feel the best when they are accomplishing goals. And when it's what are you doing? This isn't accomplishing anything. And there's no logistics here. He uses text messaging for logistics. He wants to all right, we'll get together at 8:00. It's very foreign for men to use texting for communication. So just avoid the whole what's going on? How are you? On the other hand, for men, are both men and women watching this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, men, you do message the women and say good morning and like show them attention. Women want attention and they want to know that you're thinking about them.
Yeah.
So if you send in the middle of the day, like, hey, wife, or Barbara, you are so sexy and I can't wait to see you tonight. I'm going to give you the biggest kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to love that. So men reach out, women maybe stay away a little bit.
Yeah, well, and I so appreciate your feedback on this, because I know for us women, and I forget who told this to me, something about like us women come home, or we try to give our men what's called like the meadow report, right? We've been out in the meadow all day. Let me tell you exactly what I've been doing, step by step, what I smelled when I was doing it, the things I saw, what I thought of, right? So it's like super information overload. And a lot of times women tend to put that in a text. And so what I'm hearing you say is, please do not share everything. Like, wait till we get together, right? Like, and even when the man is texting and saying that really sweet, thoughtful, can't wait to see you tonight, do you recommend that the woman either just sends a quick, great, can't wait, or do you recommend nothing at all?
I'm sorry, can I answer one really important question that you didn't even ask?
Yeah.
I want to talk about your meadow report, because I love this and it's so valuable. Like, women need to do the meadow report. But men need to be prepared. So there's got to be an effective way to do the meadow report.
Yeah.
So when a woman comes home and wants to tell about her day, it's vitally important that she puts a time frame around this. So men, their whole lives are basically around, I want to accomplish a goal. And they feel they actually build testosterone whenever they accomplish a goal. So in a meadow report where they're just listening, they're like, oh. And then they can be very drained because they don't feel like they accomplished anything.
Mm.
But women can change the whole dynamic and make it fantastic. All they need to do is say, listen, I'm going to tell you about my day. It's going to be 10 minutes long. And at the end of it, I'm going to feel so much better that I got to talk to you.
Mm.
And so then the woman gives the meadow report, tells about her fantastic day. And then at the end of it, she goes, John, you are the best. Thank you so much for listening. I feel so much better. And John goes, whoa, I feel good. I did it. Like, I accomplished something. So he got what he needed by accomplishing a goal, and she got what she needed telling about her day. And it just is magnificent.
You just blew my mind. I'm so excited. And I can tell you right now that my husband thanks you. That's so easy. We can totally do that. And I never thought about how it's going to make him feel like he accomplished something, when at the end of that, it goes back to praising, right? Oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're blowing my mind. So what about with the text messaging then? So if there is that really sweet, thoughtful message, but we don't want to inundate you and bug you, what are your thoughts on like a response, no response?
So let me understand this. So the guy sent a message saying like, you're absolutely gorgeous and I can't wait to see you?
Yep.
Yeah, so then you just respond. Obviously, you do need to respond and say like, oh, thank you, you're the best. And, so that he knows you received it. And then you give him some appreciation back. Okay. So you got the attention you wanted, and he wants to be appreciated. So you say, oh my God, you're the greatest husband, boyfriend, whatever he is on the planet. Like, thank you so much.
Love it. Love it. Okay. I just want to make sure. I might be a bit of a perfectionist in making sure I'm doing things right. So thank you. And like we've been together 10 years, but I'm always learning new ways of connecting and things that are maybe not working. So for those of you that are listening and watching, that you're like, Robin, we've been doing this for decades. It's like, try something new. Just try something new, right? We have the power to change the dynamic in a relationship. So, and I've heard you say a couple of times now, Mike, like different phrases to use with our men of like, you're the best ever. So I'm just curious, when it comes to language to get our man's attention, no matter how busy they are, what do you suggest? What are some things that we should be doing and saying?
Great question. I kind of relate this to like Pavlov's dogs. When we always talk about how we can't change men. Well, that's not necessarily true. You can actually get better behavior out of men. Just like, Pavlov got production out of dogs. Like they would salivate when you rang the bell and then they'd be fed. We all know that story, right?
Yes.
Right, anyway, what can women do to change the conversation and get men to do things? So very simple. If you start small and say, you would make me the happiest woman in the world if you did X. And you'll be shocked at what you can get your man to do. So let's start small. Like in my household, I always take out the garbage. And it all started with, Mike, you would make me the happiest woman in the world if you take out the garbage. And now I'm literally trained. She just puts the garbage, like, picks the thing up so it's like folded in or whatever. And I know, all right, it's my time to shine. So then I take the garbage out. And then typically whenever I see her, she goes, Mike, thank you so much for taking the garbage. And I go, sweet, got my appreciation. And what's so vital about this is huge. Never put men on routines to do things. So if I had to take the garbage out every Tuesday, I wouldn't necessarily like that. But whenever the garbage gets full, I love that because I know, all right, it's full, time to do a job. But if I have to know that I have to do an indefinitely long routine, it looks very daunting to me and I don't feel like I ever am successful at it. But if each time I get a chance to be successful and then I get my appreciation, I feel like a rock star.
That's really important to hear. That's really important to hear. I love that. And I think for all of the, the busy women that are listening, I know that there are routines. Trash does come on a certain day of the week, so we know. But what I love to hear you say is like, there's ways around that. There's still ways around that to help their, partners feel successul and productive. Okay, so we're using things like, you would make me the happiest woman on the planet. You would make me so happy. So what else? I'm just really interested in this because I so believe in the power of language. So I want to hear from you, Mike, for men's brains. What else do you guys like to hear from us?
Great question. I think the biggest thing you can do is being over the top on simple things we do occasionally. Like hearing that we are the greatest man on the planet is vitally important, actually. So if this is your husband who you decided you're going to spend the rest of your life with, occasionally he needs to hear that he's still the greatest guy on the planet. Because if he doesn't hear that, he's going to start getting defeated. Just like you need your attention women need their attention. They need to know like, hey, I'm still beautiful. He needs to still be checking her out. Maybe she bends over and he's like, oh, okay, wife still got it. And she needs to see him doing that. And then maybe he does come give her a hug or a kiss. And that's very important. So the guy's got to keep very consistently, picking up credit by kissing, whatever. And women need to make sure that he feels uber appreciated to the sense where he literally is the greatest guy on the planet. So that type of verbiage are adjectives of being the greatest and you are the most fantastic. So most and making him be number one, that's vital.
Oh, I feel like I'm literally getting a cheat sheet for how to just make my man so happy and just feel fulfilled. Like that at the end of the day, right, is what we want in our long-term relationships, is this feeling of just being fulfilled and connected. So I really love all these simple tips that you're really truly giving us. It's like they're like love hacks. I love this. What about when it comes to supporting our men? Because I'll be the first one to say I've heard my husband actually say things like, I just feel like you're not supporting me. I'm like, oh my God, I have no idea. What does that mean? I thought I was. So for a man, what do you need to hear or see or experience to know that you're supported and we're supporting you?
Oh, I love this question. And I have some more good news. A lot of it is do nothing. But there is a strategic do nothing that we'll talk about so ladies can feel awesome.
Yes.
So obviously everyone gets depressed every once in a while. So there's no difference for your husband. He's going to get upset. Yeah. And so let's say you can tell all right, he's down. And you're like, man, I'd really like to cheer him up. So you're like, I'm going to cook him his favorite breakfast and I'm going to, give him a high five and be like, you're doing awesome and you are the best husband. And none of that stuff works. It's really not going to fix his mood. And so what actually fixes his mood is, once again, it comes back to him. He needs to accomplish things. He needs to feel like he was successful. And so all you need to do is be like, John, get your butt out of here and go do something. Like, if you know the stuff he likes, like, for example, I love to play soccer. Like, my girlfriend would be like, all right, you're depressed. Like, go find a pickup soccer game. And then I'll go feel accomplished. I'll be like, I'll go run around. I'll have fun time with the guys. And I feel amazing. I'll be like, oh, I even scored a goal maybe. And then I feel better. And that's what you need to do to your man is be like, get out of here. Like, go do something, go accomplish some goals, and he's going to feel a lot better.
Oh my gosh, that's really simple. So my husband loves to surf, so that's going to be it. It's like, go get your board, go surf for a couple hours, come back. I would have never thought it could be this simple. You're really like decoding it for us here. Seriously, thank you. And I think what this does too, Mike, for all you female listeners and watchers, is this takes the pressure and the responsibility off of you to try to fix something, to do something. You're really, truly, it's exactly what it sounds like. We're supporting them and reminding them of how awesome they are if they just go do what lights them up, lifts them up, and makes them feel successful. So important.
And ladies, we need to take notes from Robin. If you notice, she's very good at complimenting me. And I feel like this is my best interview. And it's just because she's continues to compliment me. So take notes. I feel fantastic because Robin's good at complimenting me.
And all it is, ladies, is talking about observations, right? So compliments and just saying, this is what I'm hearing, and wow, this is really awesome, because it is helpful. So always finding that thing in your man of like, oh my gosh, I've never thought of things that way. Because really, truly, if you haven't, they're again going to feel, right, Mike? Like, oh my gosh, I'm blowing her mind right now and I'm giving her this new information. I feel successful, right?
Exactly like that too. I will like strut. I'm like, yeah.
So for the people that are in a relationship watching this, I'm just wondering, what's like the top advice that you give to your dating coaches? If there's anything outside of what we've already talked about, what you give your dating clients, coaching clients, what's the top advice that you give them that us in relationship need to follow? If there's anything in addition to what we've already kind of talked about.
Wow, that is a great question. I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah, like whether it's make sure to avoid this, or make sure you do this at least once a day for him or for yourself. Like, I'm just wondering.
I always I want women to be doing what not everyone else is doing, because that's how you set yourself apart. That's how you go above and beyond. And I think, I just need to reiterate this, because this is the most important thing, is making him feel needed. There's just so many men that are in relationships and not feeling as needed as they could. Yeah. And when you don't feel needed, you look elsewhere to feel needed, whether it's from a coworker or a friend. And that's the one thing you really want to be getting from your spouse, is feeling needed. And so we really and it's simple stuff, like real simple, like ask to get me a glass of water. Hey, would you chop these mushrooms while we're cooking dinner? Can you go turn my car on so it's warm when I get in there? Like anything, just simple stuff, and then appreciate him after, and it's just going to do a world of difference in your relationship.
I hear that. And I want to highlight that last piece of appreciate the hell out of him, ladies, because I can probably imagine some of the things that the women are thinking, like, Mike, you're asking us to ask our partners to do things, which a lot of men see as nagging. But I'll tell you right now, it's not nagging if you blow his socks off by praising the hell out of him, right? So it's not a chore, or it's not this thing that you're dreading doing for your partner if you're then getting filled up by how much she appreciates you. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, you're so right. You're like beyond right. And women, you're not nagging. Like, this is not the way you're nagging. Like, if you're nagging is when it's like, hey, you notice he's doing something and you say, stop doing that. That's nagging. But
I have no idea what you're talking about.
But if you ask him to do something like a favor, like, would you be the greatest guy ever and do X, and then he does it and he gets appreciation, he's going to feel like a gazillion bucks. Got it. Like, yes, absolutely.
I like that you differentiated that, right? That it's nagging is really truly like, oh my gosh, you're doing it again. Please stop. Please don't do this anymore. Versus It would make me so happy. You would be the best guy in the world. So women, I'm repeating this stuff because we need to hear this over and over again, because Mike is asking us to speak a different language. And when we learn a different language, it's going to take a couple times of hearing it. And Mike, I'm curious too, for the women who start to do this and start to implement this, if all of a sudden this is new for them, which means it's going to be new for their husbands, it's going to be new for their partners. Do you have any suggestions if maybe they're not getting the responses from them right away, or maybe if they're even like they're getting negative responses or really questioning, like, who are you? Why are you all of a sudden complimenting me and praising me like this? Do you have suggestions for that woman that may get, kind of discouraged and want to stop?
Well, I think, first of all, be very transparent with your spouse and communicate. Be like, listen, I watched this great video. So you're kind of like doing like meadowing and sharing your day. And he wants to hear about this new stuff you've learned, because that's like, we all know that's the foundation of a relationship, is sharing new things and learning from each other.
Yeah.
So if you share like, hey, I've got this awesome thing I want to try. And then he'll be like, oh, cool. Yeah, let's try it. And the big thing is start small.
Okay.
Like you can't, build a skyscraper in a day. And what I mean by that is, don't ask him to do something big like, hey, can you buy me a car? And he's like, what? But if you do say something like, would you grab me a glass of water? Something so simple, and then appreciate. Like, start small and then get to bigger things. Like, then be like, hey, would you mind cleaning the bathtub?
Mm-hmm.
And so then you're just gradually going up the line, and he'll get more accustomed to it. And then you're going to have a whole paradigm shift, because he'll now be expecting it. He'll be like, where's my appreciation? I just did something. And he's like, I got it. So it should be gradual, and there should be communication of why it's happening. Like, man, I'm not appreciating you enough, and I want to do that.
Love that. Oh my gosh. Ladies, I hope you heard that. I really hope you heard that. And I'm a huge proponent for this, I call it talking through your process. So like sharing with your partner what's actually going, like, wow, like, I can't believe I've been really busy lately and I just haven't been appreciating you as much. I love that you're sharing that, because what that does is it primes your man's brain. Wait, what? Oh, here it comes, right? Like, it's priming you to receive, especially when you haven't been appreciating your man for a while. It might bounce off. He might not even hear it, because it's like, what is that? I'm not used to it. So, okay, Mike, let's wrap this up. And by you answering this final question for me, if there's anything that you want our listeners and watchers to take away from today to help stay connected or whatever, because they're busy, 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 what's the one thing you want to make sure that they take away from today?
I'm just going to reiterate it.
Yep.
Needed, appreciated, accepted. Needed, appreciated, accepted.
Yes. Yes. Just show up and do it, right?
This is irresistible. This is like the game changer. Like, this is my $100 or $1 million advice. Like, this is the game changer.
It is. And I love that it's really, I'm not going to say it's easy, because if it was easy, we'd all be doing it over and over. Like, we would have been born doing it, right? But it is simple. So I thank you for that. I thank you for simplifying it for us. So ladies, I hope you are hearing this. I hope you took notes. Mike, this has been amazing. What, you said you had a little something for everyone who showed up today. Why don't you share about that?
Yes, I am so excited about this. I built a video. It's a free gift. How to text men during the day, what not to do and what to do. And this thing's going to be fantastic. You won't annoy him. I actually even give you ways to text out of the blue that, if you're dying to text them, there's something fun and flirty you can do and keep your sex life still going and keep the romance and some flirting. So it's fantastic. Check it out. And on top of that, this is the best gift ever, my time. Robin doesn't know I'm doing this, but no. I'm going to do it. And this is crazy because she's got so many followers that I don't know why I'm doing this. But once you opt into that, the next page gives you access to my calendar, and you can book 15 minutes to have a complimentary strategy session with me. And what's awesome about this is you literally can ask me any question under the sun. And this is the fun part, because I just gave you my general advice. But when we talk, you can literally ask me anything. So whatever you want to know, whatever you want to talk about, like, we're going to do it.
Wow.
And some of these are a lot of fun. I've done hundreds of these. And sometimes we literally like change someone's whole relationship and they have this whole new paradigm. They're like, oh my God. And then they call me and they're like, my marriage has just changed because we came up with one idea. And so let's do it. So if you guys want to chat with me, like, I'm giving it complimentary. Let's do it. It's going to be awesome.
Oh my goodness. You are beyond generous. Thank you so much. And I might be signing up for that. Because seriously, like, I've just learned so much from you today in our short amount of time. And I hope all of you listeners, wow, take advantage of this really, truly, to have that one-on-one time where you say, let's get specific about my relationship. So Mike, again, thank you so much. And if people that are listening right now and they want to contact you directly right now, find out more about you, where can they reach you? Website, what is that?
Oh, great question. My website is easydatingcoach.com, and it's kind of confusing. I spelled easy with the letter E and the letter Z.
Okay.
Don't know what I was thinking with that, but we're sticking with it.
Yeah.
easydatingcoach.com.
Okay, perfect. And again, Mike is not just for those who are single. Also, he's got the information to help you in those relationships. So if you are married or coupled or in an exclusive relationship, obviously he's got loads of information that will help you with your relationship. So again, Mike, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. And everyone, let's look back at what Robin did. She is so good at complimenting. Like, just steal what she does and you will be successful in your marriage for sure.
Thank you. I think I'm turning red. But you guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. This has been, again, an excellent interview in the Make Love Last interview series. Again, I'm your host, Robin D'Angelo, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.